everybody, Zach again at NewToTorah.com, coming and making a video for you today. We're going to continue on in our series, our frequently asked questions series, the most frequently asked questions that I get when people are coming into Torah and they're having their friends, their family coming and shooting all these different questions and objections at them. And so we're trying to address the most popular ones, the ones we get the most often, and we'll continue this series on forever until, we've answered all the questions. So let's continue on. We're at number 5 here. It says, keeping the law is bondage. So when you start to come into Torah and you start to see some of these truths that are in your Bible, things that you've never heard before from your church or from your church doctrine or from the pulpit, and you start to implement some of these things in your life saying, this is still true today. People will come to you and say, why are you doing these things? This is bondage. You're going back to bondage. Keeping the law is, don't you know that keeping the law is bondage? And so you get these questions. And so how do you respond to that? They'll tell you, we don't need to keep the law anymore. The law is bondage. Christians today are free. We're free, Zach. So here's the reply. The rebuttal is the Bible never says the law is bondage. It doesn't say it. It never says the law is bondage. The law, it says, in fact, let's go ahead and go through some of these. It says the law, the Torah of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The law of the Lord is perfect. Oh, that's not bondage. That's kind of the exact opposite. Here it's perfect. But you're saying it's bondage. What's the next one? Proverbs 6:23, one of my favorite ones. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. And reproofs of instruction are the way of life. The law is light. You're saying it's bondage, but here it says it's perfect and it's light. I don't know. It sounds like a bit of a contradiction to me. Let's keep going. Paul, Romans 7:16, he says, if then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Paul says the law is good. Well, that doesn't sound like the Paul I know. Something's amiss here. Let's go on and continue. Again, Paul, 1 Timothy 1:8, but we know that the law is good if a man use it lawfully. Of course, the law was meant to be used lawfully. And Paul says it is good. Again, that just doesn't sound like the Paul we know. What is going on here, Zach? Keep in mind that the law of the Torah was given to Israel after the deliverance from Egypt. From Egypt. Let's take a look. Exodus 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Well, wait a minute. So you're saying that the Father brought his people out of bondage only to put them back into bondage?
That don't make no sense.
That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. I brought them out of bondage only to take them to Mount Sinai, give them the Torah, which I call perfect and light, and put them back under bondage. There is an issue here with understanding. There are no contradictions in the Bible. There are only misunderstandings in communication. Folks, it's this simple. The Bible never says the law is bondage. In fact, it says that it's perfect. It says that it's light. It says that it is the way. It says that it is good. Paul says it is good. Where does this come from? So why are people saying this? They're getting this probably from Galatians 5, verse 1. It says, stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ has made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Right there, Zach. It says the law is bondage. No, it doesn't. It says, do not be entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Our Messiah says the yoke is light. It's easy. But there is a yoke, okay? The bondage is light, small, okay? But see, the issue, what we have been free from in Messiah is the bondage of the world. See, anytime you see Paul speaking against the law, or what appears to be speaking against the law, you can put that into one of two categories. It's very simple. He's either talking about the traditions and doctrines of man's law, the oral law, Greek law, Roman law, the thing that puts man under bondage, okay, because it's man's law, the traditions and doctrines of man, or he's speaking against the punishment that the law brings when we break it. So you break the law, and because you've broken God's law, God's holy law, bondage comes upon you. That's the result of sin. So anytime you see Paul speaking against the law, he's either talking about the traditions and doctrines of man, or he's speaking of the punishment the law brings when you break it. But see, the punishment doesn't fall on us. It falls on our Messiah. He took that punishment upon him in your stead so that you can indeed be made free. All right, we'll leave it at that. Go home, read your Bible. Thanks.